Right? What did you do to your oh. Hi, welcome to Serious Shenanigans on the Let's Talk station. We are so happy to have you here, and I'm going to throw it right back to Quentin right away. How you doing?
Wow, that was fast. But
Right?
I know today is your day, Tuesday, and is the fifth show of your series Shenanigans. So what's in
Right.
store for today?
Well, I'm just thrilled because we haven't been canceled yet, so that's always a good thing. I have another wonderful guest in store for us. We have Deep Thought the Lyricist, also goes by Arsenio Sorel. So we're going to hear from him. I know he has a new book that's just launched. I know he's got a lot going on. He is a in-person slam poet. He's very popular on IG. He is a host and he does a number of other things that we're going to find out about. So it should be a good show.
Yeah, sounds like fun. Sounds like it's going to be a good show. So, serious Shenanigans. This is going to be interesting here.
We have new prizes. We have new prizes.
Really, new
And we have
prizes.
yeah, and we have new questions. So
You think he can win a prize?
I think he's a pretty smart guy. He's kind of clever. He
Okay.
might be able to win too.
I want to see someone win a prize. I would like to see somebody in the chat win a prize.
Ooh.
Because I know you got some new questions, new stuff to ask people. So might as well get the party started.
Absolutely. Let's go. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Wait,
That's
yeah,
always
can you hear me?
wonderful. Yeah, and I have to ask now because that thing happened before. So welcome. It's so great to have you here with us. And
It's
by
great
us,
to
I
be
mean
here.
me and the person behind the curtain.
I
How
got you.
is yeah, right. You know, TV land doesn't. How's everything been going for you?
Good, good. I can't complain. I say I'm blessed. I'm blessed because everything is is working better than I expected. I don't know exactly where my expectations were, but not where they are now, based on what's happened.
Well, I'm happy. And so is Clinton.
Thank you. Thank
Right.
you. Thank you.
We have roses for you. I just don't know how to pass them to you right now. So um, let us know what you're speaking of because behind the scenes, I think I know what you're going to say, but like, let's hear it out of your mouth.
About like how things have been going. Like what's the good stuff?
Is there? Yeah, sure. If you want to share. If it's not shareable, then keep it to yourself. Well, just say pass.
No,
Just say
I mean
pass.
I dropped a book last month and
Right.
um it was a process. It was a process. Thank you. Thank you. It was a process. Um but yeah, it was all worth it. All the stress, all the days that I like wasn't sleeping and like figure this out or wondering if it's gonna go well, who's gonna buy it, are people gonna like it, are they gonna like talk crap about my book. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
And
they
so
might, but I'm letting you know.
yeah. And so it's been good. It's been great feedback. Um I love it. You know, I haven't like actually just I don't know if people do this when they publish the book, if they just sit and read it, like sit and read it cover to cover. I haven't done that yet, but I've, paged through a few of the poems and I really enjoy it. I really actually, legitimately love this book, and so it's not just anything. I guess that makes sense.
Right. Well, you should love it. It's a great book, from what I hear. It's a great book. It's a great book.
You heard from a person or two.
I heard from somebody. It was one of those. Heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend who. Yeah, no, it's a beautiful book. I had the pleasure of spending some time with it cover to cover. So it is a great book. But
Yes. Yes. That was a beautiful process too. So I was, for those who don't know, I got to work with the lovely Valerie Lorraine herself, and she put up with me. I feel like I wasn't too much of a tyrant, but you never know. You never know. But no, it was you made it a very, very easy process for me. Like everything was upfront. You explained everything well. You communicated well, and like it just made the experience that much better because I this isn't my first time trying to publish a book and work with people. I've had several other shots at it, and they all, for more or less, have gone kind of sour. Whether it be like people just trying to overcharge me or um, I don't know, poor communication. I had one group of people volunteer to, help me with the book, and they stopped responding to my messages after a while. Like,
hmm.
and that's when we were
uh,
talking about contracts.
well, and it is strange how people do communicate, but I mean, having been in life probably for a few more years than you, anyways, I can soundly say that I've come to realize that when the universe is ready, that's when it's going to happen. So it was just your time.
Exactly.
It was just your time.
Exactly. And that is something I learned through this process too, because I can't tell you how many, release dates I put out there, and none of them came even close to working. And I'm just like,
It, it, it is, I don't know how many people that I have worked with. And I love it when they give me a release date because I say, okay, that's a great goal. No, it has to be out on this date. All right. Okay, let's work for that
let's
date
do it.
then.
Right.
I have never yet seen one person release on the date that they said they were going to release on.
It's too
So
difficult. Not a first book at least. I feel like
mhm.
second time around, maybe I can get a better target date, but like this one, no, it was just there were too many variables that made it so unpredictable. And so it was like those few blips, and for me it was mostly a financial thing. Those were the majority, like the biggest blips for me, where it was like I can't pay for this right now. And so I have to wait until I can pay for this. But then, you got life stuff that happens. Like I had my battery, or not my battery, but my alternator go out in my car. So it was like, well,
Kind of
now I
important.
definitely can't pay for the book because that was my book money. So that was to
Right.
pay my editor, or that was to pay, my graphics artist. Like now I don't have the money. Now I have to sit and wait until I get the money, and hopefully things go well, and you know then I pay this person, but then I ain't got no more money to pay this person, so I gotta wait even like so. I
It's a
was like,
process. It's a process. But what? If I could say anything to you and anybody who's out there trying to do this and maybe experiencing some roadblocks and feeling like this is done and let's be done with it, pursue pursue it. Just keep going because ultimately it's about timing, and you'll be
yeah,
proud of yourself when you do, because I know, Arsenio, that you're proud of yourself, and you should be, and it's absolutely beautiful. So with that, what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a second there, or a couple seconds, to get one of your first pieces up. If you'd like to read it from your book, if you'd like to hold your book up, you're more than welcome to do that. While you're getting that ready, I'm going to let everybody welcome them to the show. So great to have you here. I'd like to thank you from the Let's Talk family. This is Serious Shenanigans. We are here every Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you like and subscribe to this channel, then you will get all of our streaming. However, you can also hit the notification bell and you'll be notified of this show and all the others that happen on this channel. I don't always know when they are or what they are because I only care about my show. but I am part of the family, so I do hope that you come and hit the notification bell. Behind the scenes, you cannot see our producer.
I love the random applause.
Right. So the person making all the noise behind the curtain there is our producer, Quentin Ford, and we would like to thank him for not canceling this show and for making it run perfectly every week, or at least close to perfect. Thank you so much. That was our commercial break. And now it's back to you. Yeah. Ready? There's that book.
I like that. Okay. Anywho, so I'll read this poem. It's called Genie in a Bottle. It was your favorite song. Used to play it on repeat. Dancing to the lyrics even when you'd eat. It was funny then. You weren't the best at dancing, but you did a mean running man. The smile on your face when we came to visit was heartwarming. And that's how I remember you best. But those memories turn to fog when I start to remember the rest. Remember you at rest, thinking we're the same age. And I never even had similar thoughts to what you had, never felt the amount of bullying you experienced inside and outside your home. I told myself I would write about you someday and to make it creative, but I paint pictures, so I have to make this vivid. The details of your death to this day make me livid. I wish I could have held your wrists, your hands before you broke the skin, tore into your childlike innocence, gaped the possibility of your future. I wasn't there, but I still have visuals of your lifeless body floating in your own blood. I embodied that pain, those cuts. My tears flow to this poem as I write, Genie in a Bottle playing on repeat. I was terrified of you at your funeral. It was so surreal, but it was reality. It's too difficult to continue this piece without breaking down and letting my anger get the best of me. So I'll leave it at, I love you, and I hope you're finally at peace.
That's called motherfucking boy.
Okay. That just blurted out my mouth. Strange. Just well, you know, I've read that piece, and it's just so full of a lot of emotion and vulnerability. And of course, I love that in poetry, but it's definitely what attracts others to poetry. Some people like doing this and some people do not. Would you like to expand upon that poem?
Yes, not the
Okay.
full story, but because there's
We
a
are
lot
not
to
twisting
it.
your arm in any way here.
No, for sure.
Not yet. Anyway.
You're good. You're good. I feel safe, warm.
Okay.
So that poem is about my stepsister, who, when we both were 12 years old, committed suicide. And it was so heavily impactful. Like, I even remember vividly what she looked like at her funeral, you know? And so just a very haunting tale, because there are some extremely sketchy details in the process, but what I wanted to focus on was her life and how I saw her, how I got to experience her. She stayed with my father, who was like never lived with me. And so at the time when we would go visit, you know, she would always be super excited to see us, because we got like younger siblings, but they're like much younger. Like, we're talking 10 years plus, sometimes younger. And so she would spend a lot of time babysitting them. And so when we would come, it would be like huge relief, because now we could help her, you know, help with like her chores that she's in charge of, help, you know, entertain our young brothers or younger sisters at the time, and spend time with her. You know, she got to hang out with people her age and home, you know, and it was it was a beautiful interaction, and that's what I wanted to focus on because really outside of that there was a lot of darkness around her, and not just her life, but the people around her too.
Mhm.
So,
Well, 12
but
is a
yeah,
very tender age I mean, you took me by surprise with that statement. I mean, we know
it,
that a lot of people commit
it
suicide,
shocks
but
me.
12, yeah,
Yeah,
that's kind of wild.
it still shocks me. Like, teenagers, we kind of expect to some extent to be a little more, distraught emotionally, but like,
Not a
yeah,
tweener.
yeah,
Yeah.
that young was crazy. And but yeah, so her favorite song was Genie in a Bottle by Christina Aguilera. She just loved the song. And we would tease her about it because, that was like Christina, Britney, boy bands. It was like, oh, pop madness time. And I was like, and I was not a fan. So very
So on
catchy
came the
song.
teasing.
Yeah, yeah. So very catchy song. But yeah, she absolutely loved it. And the Running Man, that was her dance, and she looked kind of goofy doing it, as I remember. And so that's but yeah, I just wanted to pay a little homage. My brother actually had wrote a poem about her um not too long after she had transitioned. And I don't know, I always wanted to write something too. And I think his poem is still better. But um I love that I was able to pay tribute to her like that.
And basically, the entire book is paying homage to several people, but namely
Hmm.
your mom.
Yep.
It's beautiful.
Mhm. Yep, mom is a heavy focus with this book. The cover, she's the last page in the book. The book's dedicated to her. There's more poems about her than like any other subject really in the book, and um, so yeah, that has been it's been my reentry back into poetry. And so as a result, I was like, I have to pay homage. Like, I definitely want to do other things with other books and other pieces. And I have these ideas, and I'm like, oh, I want to throw this poem in there, but I'm like, it doesn't really fit. It'll take away from what I want this to be about and focused on. And so I'm glad it came out that way too. And I love it. I tell people I put her picture in there because um, she liked to travel, but she didn't really get a chance to because she was always helping so many other people and taking care of, me and my siblings, other people's kids. And um, so she didn't get to travel as much as she would have liked to. So I was like, if I put her in the book, everywhere the book goes, she goes, right?
Yeah.
And so now she's all over the place.
What a lovely thought. Honestly, what a lovely thought. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna switch gears just a tiny bit on you because I know that you get to do a lot of features, especially now that you're promoting the book. However, this is we try and do a little bit of a deeper dive. And as a host, I know that you just don't get to talk about yourself as much. So, um, tell me who is a major influence on your writing or your life in general, whichever one you'd like to answer.
Writing and my life in general. Um, I mean, really, like my mom, myself and my journey that I've been through. I'd love to point at one person, but there's been a huge lack of consistency in my life from people around me. And even like the people that are older than me, they're in the process of either learning things I'm learning, or sometimes they're even learning things from me. And it's like, that's fine, but I need I need more of a mentor to, so in reality, I kind of piece it together. Like, this is how I always did, like, without having a father or a consistent male role model in my life. As far as that goes, like, I always um, pulled traits from people that I liked, that they, like, this man that I know here is very family oriented. I love that about him. I love his family. I love him. I want to embody that part. Or, this guy is very good at, teaching his children, not just being a full family man, but specifically focusing on his children, teaching his children. Like, this person is good in their career and following their dreams. Like, whatever it is, I was just pulling to kind of make, I don't know, something there. But my kids, I look at my kids, and I've actually had my oldest son, we had like an in-depth talk when I was packaging like my first set of books. It was like, God, like 47 books. And I just sat at my kitchen table and was signing the books and filling out the envelopes and, doing everything. And, he was asking me about it. And I was like, this is kind of like running your own business. And so he started asking questions, because he's like, oh, me and my friend such and such want to do a taco truck. And I'm like, oh, it sounds interesting. I'm like, do you know how to make tacos, either of you? And they're like, and I was like, okay, let's start there. I was like, but after that, I was like, there's, even this process, I was giving him kind of the lowdown of the process, like how to price out the book so that you're making profit, what your money goes into. Like, we were talking about all of this stuff, and I don't know how much he retained, but
Right.
it's something that's common with me and my kids, and anybody who's like ever really talked to me on the phone, more times than not, you've witnessed an encounter, heard an encounter with me and my kids. And so um I'm very intentional in providing insight and as much knowledge to them as I can. And so I feel like with this, it really makes me think of them, because this is me following dreams. Like, I'm still working, but I am seriously pursuing my dreams. Like, it's consuming my time. They're seeing, the energy, the time that I put into it, and they're seeing what's coming from this. They see the book. Like, my kids, when they found out that I wrote my own book, they're like, because to them it's huge. The only books they're exposed to are in the library. So to
Not
think like
right.
my dad is like library level, like
I'm
it's an
glad you had
incredible
that
feeling.
reaction. I'm glad you had that reaction. I have 3 grown kids, and they looked at the front cover and the back, and we're gonna hand it back. I'm like, whoa, could you at least read the part of the dedication that involves you? Other than that, you can put it down now.
Right, right, right. No, yeah, and yeah, Maddie just mentioned my youngest son, and it's it's a weird situation, because he doesn't knock on my door. He just comes into the room, and he knows I'm a knock person, knocking my. But every Saturday when I do my show, they usually hit bedtime before I finish. But it never fails. He'll always come into the door. He just comes right in, and he'll be like, "Dad," and I'm like, initially I was annoyed, because I'm like, "What do you want?" And he's like, "I love you. Good night." I'm like,
Right. I know.
"I love you too." Back to the show. Okay. But it's I love that I know that I can impact them. So if I can teach them that, hey, it's okay to go to school and get whatever job you need, but it's also okay to pursue your dreams. You don't have to limit yourself.
Yeah.
You don't have to stay on this linear path. Then man, let's make it happen. Like, I'm following my dreams. You guys are witnessing this be possible. So when you have dreams, I'll support you in those dreams, and like,
Mhm.
do it, but you got to put the work in.
Right.
I'm very firm on that. You better
Absolutely.
work for it. Otherwise, I ain't gonna support you if you half-assing
No.
it.
All right. I have a question. I know it's not completely original, but I do love this question because there's so many people, past and present, in the world who have made huge impacts, whether it's on art, philosophy, politics, whatever that might be. If you could spend an afternoon with one person, conversing with them for whatever reason, again, art, philosophy, politics, for your enjoyment, so you could learn something, whatever, who would you choose and why?
This is dead or alive?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
such a double
it's fictional,
question.
right? So it's not like they're going to be dead in your front room and they're going to stink.
You know what? I think I'm gonna throw people off when I say this. Like,
Okay.
it's gonna throw you off initially, but you guys will
But
understand.
you have a reason, so we're waiting.
So, um, oh, now I just thought of something else, and I was like, that would be interesting too.
See, this is why I like that question, because I no sooner answer it myself, and then I'm
Hmm.
like, but wait.
So,
You cannot ignore.
can I do two people?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so this one, I think this is gonna catch a lot of people off guard. But Jesus Christ, who's like actually a person in this world, like that would have been really cool to
Was
meet.
not once, but twice.
Yes, to meet
Right?
Jesus.
I
So
mean, that in itself is a great discussion.
yeah, like oh my gosh, that's a poem. That's like a whole poem. Oh my gosh, I might have to write that. It's there. It's there
Are you
now.
going to use that line that I just gave you? Not once, but twice?
I could. I
No.
should. I will
No.
probably incorporate that in there
Okay.
somewhere.
Thank you. I'm very good at prompts.
So I would say Jesus and Tupac Shakur. Like I'd love
That,
to talk to Tupac because
right?
he had some incredible insight. Like to look at clips of like the thought of we're going on almost 30 years since he passed.
No answers as to who.
No
But I
answers as to who, but like clips of him speaking are still relevant.
feel that's because he's amazing. But you know what? Like, I mean, that's just your wish list, but I'm just gonna throw this little, couple pennies into the well for you. I feel like you can't have Tupac if you don't have Notorious Big. Like, those two need to be together. I know they're for different reasons. I know they are, but I feel like the question is eventually going to come along about, had this happen? Like, how did your life end? And so you kind of need both sides of the coin. Even if you made Big just sit there quietly until you're finished talking to Tupac,
Well,
and
and here's
then
the
let
thing
him
is
out.
that I feel like out of the media eye that you would get the truth. Because like and I'm a hardcore Tupac fan. Like I've seen numerous interviews of him. I watched interviews of people talking about time they spent with him and how he was. And so that's what I find interesting is because some of those stories are like him, admittedly kind of amping up something because he understands how the business world works. Like
Mhm.
you're going to garner more attention, more people are going to be drawn to whatever you got going on. And it's going to be big for you. I just think he miscalculated the other shit that came with that. Like it's not
Well,
just
I
yeah.
mean, when you put the celebrity target on yourself, right? I mean, all you have to do is ask John Lennon, right? You
Yeah.
put a celebrity
Yeah.
target on yourself. You cannot pick and choose. Only the sane ones, please. Only
Mhm.
the true fans and the true lovers. Like you're putting the world's attention on you. So
Mhm. Yeah,
the,
and just his understanding of things, like we sit here and debate who's the greatest rapper, and one of the biggest knocks on Tupac is the fact that he wasn't like super lyrical. But if you know him, you understand why because he knows his audience. He's like,
Mhm.
I'm not going to sell a bunch of records. My music isn't going to reach as many people if I'm just focused on that. There's an entertainment aspect. There's, the substance of what you're talking about. He once had an interview where he said, I record my songs while I'm drunk and high because I know the people listening to it are drunk and high. So they're gonna feel everything I'm saying when they hear this. And so it's like knowing your audience to that standpoint where you can maximize whatever you can. Plus, he came from a performance arts background, so it makes sense that he would focus on the entertainment aspect, because no one wants to go to a concert where your favorite rapper is just standing in one place
Right.
just talking to
Yeah.
you. Like, no, we want to see you move around the stage. We want to see you hold the mic out and let us do it. We want to maybe jump out and crowd surf. I don't know about that. It's
Right.
risky.
Crowd surf. I'm not too sure that he's going to do that, but that was an interesting thought. So I have a question then. So have you ever written and performed Drunken High to increase your target audience?
Not at the same time. I've been a little tipsy before, and I've definitely been like a little high before, but it's very, very rare. It's very, very rare. I think
I'm not sure if he's like applauding the fact that you did it or the fact that that it's rare. But I would very much like to applaud the fact that I was really teasing and you answered very seriously.
well, no, and I was gonna second that by saying that I've
Do
only
we
done
get
it on
shenanigans?
like lives. You know what I'm saying? Like, and anybody can tell you, like, well, Rita's in the audience. When we were at the Deadly Pen retreat last year, I was like holding this edible in my hand because like I didn't want to be high during my performance, but I wanted to take it like right before, that way it kicks in as I'm getting off stage.
Getting
Like,
off stage, so you got the high of being on stage and the high of that.
yeah. So I was
See,
like,
I got that.
but it was, they like weren't telling us the order and was dragging it out, and then
It was
I was
gummy in
just
your hand.
like, I'm gonna take it, and then I started losing my voice too, but it was still a great performance.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad. At least you thought it was.
Yeah, yeah. Every
Because when you're high, everything's good. I'm just
you know
saying.
you know what it makes me think of? It's like Family Guy. There's the one episode where Lois and Peter get high and they like go on this tour and they're like singing songs, and to them the song is like beautiful and majestic and their voices are incredible, and then you get to the end of the episode, they're like, dude, you guys were just fake the whole time. It wasn't good at all. And then it shows what it really looked like, and they're just like, ah, 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 like that's what I imagine. Like, I don't want to look like that on stage.
You made me imagine because when I vacuum, I put my headphones in. I don't particularly like the sound of the vacuum as much as the music. So my grown kids will usually come up on me from behind because I sing. If I miss saying that part, I sing while I have headphones in, and my grown kids will always come up behind me and go.
Hey, look, tell them you're the best singer in your body.
No, I let them know that if they don't like it, they should vacuum.
That too.
Then you're free to sing or not sing, but not listening to me.
Yeah,
Right. Let me see. I have so many questions, but I want to keep it going in one direction because my mind's going in 1,000.
yeah, you're good.
So just I'm going to take it back like a way step, which we probably should have started with, but you not only have the book, you host a show on IG, which is quite a popular show. So you're an IG host, live poetry.
Mm-hmm.
You do slams.
Not really, no.
Well, you perform.
Yeah,
you perform on stage for sure. Is there anything else that you would like to add to that resume that I'm creating on your behalf? Apparently, you play for One Direction.
No.
Oh, no, that's not what she meant. But anyways, go ahead.
Apparently, you play.
Starting your own boy band.
You know who's in One Direction. But I mean, there's the hosting, there's the performing, traveling, comedian, apparently.
Oh, and you do that thing on TikTok where you flash your
Oh,
hair.
I'm a sex symbol or whatever.
Right. Do you know I followed you there a long time before? So I just want to let everybody know that you heard it here first, and when he shows up on People's Sexiest Man Alive, he was here. And you probably have a signed copy, and if you don't, you better be rushing to get it.
I'm like the sexiest man on Poetry Club who hosts. That was the best timing so far.
I know, right? It wasn't delayed. He didn't have to think about that one. So he just went with it. So you are the only male, right?
Yeah.
Did you chase off all the other men so that you could have that honor?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Mentor, yes, and bully.
A mentor and a bully.
I push, just smart.
Well, you have to, right? Because if you care enough about the people that you're working with, then you want them to come out of their comfort zone. Nobody grows inside of a comfort zone. They just bump the edges.
Yeah. No, I didn't even think about that. But yeah, I do also do a bit of like mentoring and instructing per se. Like there are definitely people who contact me about with their writing or their performance or just like building their confidence or just like kind of even trying to figure out their purpose like in the poetry world,
Yeah.
like what direction they want to go. And so I do open the door for people to reach out to me, and I try my best to guide them. I don't want to say lead, guide them. Um along the way, because it's important. I think if I had some sort of mentor or somebody to help guide me my first go around, I'd have made a much larger impact, and I didn't, and I lost 100% motivation to even write poetry. Like I told myself, like I'd do it every once in a while, but for the most part, I had no interest in it.
And now you have a book out.
And now I have a book out. Yeah, it got reinvigorated. I thank my sister, and I have told her this. I was like, I want to give you your flowers because you started this. We were talking on the phone, and she, I had mentioned to her like I wanted to do, and I literally sat around for like weeks and thought about like ways that I can pay tribute to my mom over the course of my life, like not just one balloon release or, some doves flying out, like legit, constant, just continuing that legacy, paying tribute. And so she's like, hey, I'm on this app called Clubhouse. I've never heard of that up until that point. And she's like, I'm in this, writing group. You go in, they, give you a prompt, you write for like 10 minutes, and then they discuss the prompt and you can share what you wrote if you want it. It was a beautiful room. I wish I remembered the name of it at this point. But yeah, and then, there's more to the journey, but pretty much the rest is history. From there, it leads up to where we are now. But yeah, she pushed me to get back into writing and sharing my writing. And
So it sounds like writing is in your family, because you've mentioned that your brother wrote a poem and it was better than yours. You mentioned that your sister was in a writing room, so I assume that she was there to write, not just search out things for you to do.
Yeah, she actually started going to college for journalism. So she was into journalism. My brother had always wrote poetry, and he like sings too. And then I was always flipping back and forth between rap and poetry, but rap was my first love before poetry.
Nice. All right, let's hear another one of your pieces, please.
Another one of your pieces.
Oh, so you sing too.
Let's do this one. Oh no, that'll make me cry. Not that one. We'll do this one. This is called Forgotten Child. All I can remember are the yesterdays that present themselves as today. But I wish the gifts were tomorrows. Like if Santa Claus give the bad kids coal, is it still considered a gift? I used to not give a shit, mostly because of the households I was birthed from, an absent father, a mother who was there but going through the motions, but I have no use for an apparition nor a hologram. Where's my solace? It'd be better if I never obtained knowledge, abstained logic like I maintained until I could learn enough to surpass my blood stains, the stains on my carpet, stains on my journals, stains on the razors that rested under my pillowcases when I couldn't find anything to believe in.
Mm.
I tried looking you in the face, but there was always another sibling consuming your time, always assumed to be okay. How could you not check for sure? My heart was so pure. I never had the ill intention, self-destructing as often as I could manage. It trickled into my future. I was forgotten, distraught in this world. At one point, I fought in postpartum anxiety was just a part of him. With my life at stake, I pleaded for you to stay. Even now, I hunger for the thirst to be quenched from your love. Long standing is this drought, this pain. With whom do I draw to fill this void? Will Father ever remember that I'm a part of him? Will Mother ever remember where she forgot the little boy so innocent, forgotten?
Beautiful. Oh. So, someone who is privy to a lot of the different genres that you write, is there anything that you won't write about? I know that you write a lot about personal situations, but is there anything that you say like, I'm not touching that?
There's some things that I haven't written about that I don't know if they're off limits. I just don't know if I want to write them. And then there are things that I feel just aren't ready yet because I feel like I still haven't told the full story of my mom and the time from when right before she got sick to her untimely passing. Like there's so much in that story that I'm still unpacking mentally. And so it is 100% possible that some parts of that will go untouched. For those reasons, just because it was so much pain, it was so heart wrenching, and I don't like to be in that place very much. I get it; it's therapeutic. It's good for me. It's nice to get it out, but I also don't believe everything is meant to go on the wind and be accessible to everybody.
I feel you on that one.
So yeah.
I feel you on that one. So do you find that when you write, does it invigorate you or does it exhaust you?
It exhausts me. And I think that's because of how much energy I put into it. Like and I started noticing this so much more like this last week or two. I'll get on and I'll perform, and it never fails. When I'm done performing, I always take like a deep like like
That's
that's
done.
my last that's my last like bit of juice right there. Like it was almost like I was spitting this and I was doing the poem and holding my breath at the same time, but somehow was able to get it out. And like I'm tired. I'm so tired. Like, but in the best way though. Like, it's like when you say you're full, like when the physical meaning of like eating and you just being stuffed and you can't move, but the food is so good. Like that's why you ate so much. It was so good. You just feel great. You can't move, but it's the best not move that you can obtain. And so that's the feeling I get from sharing poetry and being in poetry spaces. Like I just fill up, and then I get to a point where I'm like, yeah, that's it. That's all my energy for today. I'm gonna go lay down. That was it. I'm done. But I'm full in the best way, not a bad thing.
Right. It's that nap after Thanksgiving dinner, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
like I
yeah.
just relax for a
That's
bit.
the best nap. Like you don't even feel
Yeah.
yourself fall asleep. You
No,
just waking up. That's all you know. Food
right? Little
and then
little
waking
it's a
up.
mini food coma.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
So so what inspires you?
um, everything.
Hmm.
Literally everything. There's not much I won't try and put into a poem. Um, but yeah, I love knowing like random stuff. I'm a random person, so I love knowing random stuff and noticing like all the details. I'm very observant. Like you can often, even during this, you can often find me kind of eyes wandering, and I'm just looking at the stuff in my room, so I know like where everything is. And I don't know if that's for my memory or what, or an inspiration, but like literally, like I have a erotic poem that mentions Winnie the Pooh, like. And my sister was a huge Winnie the Pooh fan, so I was exposed to it a lot when I was a kid. I didn't care for it, but I knew like all of the characters because I was exposed to it so much. But then, of course, my mind gets all twisted and goes a little dark, and it's like, you know, Pooh's kind of a pervert. Like the guy walks around without pants on, and he's
Well, I
always
was just gonna say he belongs in an erotic poem. He's got a red shirt and no pants, so that's on him.
trying to stick his hand in somebody's honey pot.
Somebody's honey pot, yeah, like yeah, yeah, we got that one. And Quentin likes it. That's the important part. That's the important part. So are you a voracious reader?
When I can, yes. I think and don't tell anybody this, Val, but
You know what? It's just you and me here.
part of the reason why I started doing a review show is so that I purposely dedicate time to reading.
I understand that one. Trust me.
Because I'm going to review your book, but I want to make sure I know what you're talking about. So I go through the book, I mark, and I usually give myself at least like a week or two to get through the book. I know most people are like, "Oh, you can get through it in one sitting." No, because I feel like it's disrespectful to sit there and read it in like 20 minutes. I don't think you get anything
Well, it
from it.
depends how many pages there is, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but so I feel like, but not reading through it. I feel like poetry, you can't just read through it as fast as you can. Like
No, it's not a
got to
skim.
sit with it. It's got to sit with you, And so
Yeah,
that's
sometimes you have to like reread something because it was that good or it was that deep or you
mhm,
can tell that there's layers to it,
right.
so that you're like, wait, I need to read that again because there's more to it than just that. Like there's something underneath that line.
Or you like
Right?
it. Like I've gone through books and like I'll read a piece and I'll be like, ooh, oh,
I
I
know
need some more of that. I'm gonna read that again. Like,
I know
you know,
my book's like that.
yeah. So I do, at this point, most of what I read are poetry books, but I also do I have the Kindle app on my phone and I have Audible as well. So I try to listen to books. So I'm always trying to do more with it. It kind of conflicts, it's hard to read a book when you're in the process of memorizing a poem. It's hard to read a book if I'm trying to prep for a feature. I need to make sure
Right.
everything's in order and stuff. And then, all the other factors, work and kids and everything going
Yeah.
on in my
Well,
personal life.
I would get more reading done. I used to be a voracious reader. I think I'd get more reading done if I could turn on Netflix at night and binge watch a book.
I mean, you kind of can because there's a
You're
lot of
not
stuff
Netflix.
based on books. So
I know, but it's still not. There's nothing based on books is like reading a book. That is for certain. But
yeah.
I do have a question though. Do you, since you like to read, do you remember the first book that made you cry?
It made me cry.
Oh, first off, I should ask if you're okay with admitting if you cried.
No, yeah, I'm fine.
Keeping the comfort zone in the room.
God, I don't know. Oh, to be honest, and this is one of my favorite books is and it's actually a play too, Fences.
Mm.
That broke me down a little bit. Just kind of getting into and understanding the characters. It just took me to a different place. And so yeah, you get involved in some of the characters, and so that one brought tears to my eyes. There's They Call Me Malala, her book. Very, very heart-wrenching tale. I even watched like the autobiography or the documentary that she had did as well of her life, and like that was another one that like brought me to tears because I'm just like, God, man, like who like that is so inspirational to see somebody who is so devoted to a cause. Like they literally are like within inches of death. Like they literally tried to kill this girl.
Right.
And she had to learn how to like walk again and some other cognitive functions and so but when she was able to, she continued. Like, she never stopped. It wasn't like, "Oh my god, they tried to kill me, they're making death threats. I can't even go to my home country, because these people are threatening me and my family for what you're continuing to do." You're like, "I'm still gonna stand up,
Right.
for women's rights in our country because it's ridiculous. We can't even go to school." You know? And I'm
Right.
like, that's incredible to me. That's very inspirational. I ask myself that all the time. Like, is there something that I am so devoted to that I would lose my life for it and I would be satisfied with that happening?
Mm-hmm. You're right. Right. Absolutely. Um, do you think that somebody who does not feel emotions with a depth and a strength can be a good writer?
No.
I agree.
I mean that's what we're known for as poets. We're known for our rawness, for our emotion, for our ability to manipulate words and stuff the way we do to like really help people understand from a different perspective, like the analogies that we use, the metaphors, the extended metaphors. Like you don't find that a lot in other forms of writing, and when it is, they're elements of poetry. Like you guys can cake up this song for what you want it to be, but I know a poem when I hear a poem, and
Right.
this is a poem. And so yeah, I don't think you can truly be good without trying to tap into that. It's like, and I love that I learned this in the process of my acting and my theater background. But I had this director, um, he would always pound into us like, don't act as the character, be the character.
Hmm.
Because they can see when you are acting and it doesn't come off as authentic. So they're going to know.
Okay. And I agree. I agree. So then that comes to the next part of my question. You just led right into that perfectly. How much, when you're writing, how much of it are you writing for yourself, and how much are you writing because you do have an audience, and I know that you know what they like? So how much of it is like, how do you balance that, or do you consider that at all?
Honestly, I
No,
don't
you should
consider it.
lie to me, Arsenio.
I don't I don't I don't lie to me.
Lie to me.
Um no, I
Biting your tongue on that honesty piece, eh?
well, so I'll be honest. There was a point where I would try to purposely write stuff for the purposes of performing in an audience. At
Mhm.
this point, and for most of my being back, I I don't I don't I don't. And honestly, I don't care to even consider that, because at the end of the day, I think I speak for most writers when I say if we don't like it, you're probably never going to hear it. So I make sure I at least like them. And then there are some poems that I'll write, and because I don't read them back all the time before I share them, as I'm writing it, I'm not sure if it's going to come across the way I want it to,
Right.
but then I read it and it's fine. And so like I'm learning to trust in the fact that I know my abilities. I know that what I'm saying is going to be impactful. I know there's going to be layers to it. And those are elements that I appreciate about my work. I've tried to not write like that before. And like although I can switch up my style, I can't go down to levels I was at before. I can't go back down to those levels. Even when I try, it still sounds better than what I was back then, you know? So it's like I just can't at this point. I have to write for myself. And plus I feel like I'm not always just telling my story anyway. You know, what I'm going through, I know people will resonate with. And I
Right.
know there is stories that came before us that we sometimes conjure up in our pieces to pass on those stories. You
Mhm.
know, it may not be in the same form. I feel like it's more modernized, you know, as the generations come. But you'll notice some poems are similar in the way they feel, and some are similar in the way um, that they're put together. You know, and that's not a coincidence. Those are stories that we're conjuring. They're pieces of someone else's story that we're able to retell because there's some importance there. They need to be retold for a reason. They need to fulfill a purpose, you know? And so, yeah, so, um, sorry, audience, but
I think I think they will get over it and still follow along.
I hope so.
um, so you ever have those moments where the question comes and goes, and you're like, "Man, it was a good question," and it comes to the tip, and then it goes out for sale again?
Yep, that's why I have my list. As soon as I
Well,
forget, I'm
some of
like,
the questions, of course, are prepared, but you know, the beauty of the show is to go with what was
go with
just
the
said.
flow
So,
for
and I
sure.
have gone out with the ship right now, so that's just the way that ball bounced. But yeah, you know, I agree with you on that wholeheartedly. Um, all right, well, I'm looking at the time, and
Mhm.
I think that we are going to shift gears in a second here. I'm gonna ask you if you'd like to share another piece with us, and while you're getting that piece ready, I will do another commercial break. Thank you, everybody who has joined us here, or if you're joining us on the replay. We're super excited to have you here. For those of you in the room, we are seeing your comments. We're loving that you're here supporting Arsenio and the show. This is the Let's Talk station on YouTube. Please do like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that you get notified of all future shows. And thank you so much for joining us. This is our guest tonight, Deep Thought the Lyricist, also known as Arsenio, and he's about to share another piece with us.
Okay. This one is called War Wombs, which is actually one of the newer pieces I stashed in here. I never performed it. I kept it from you all to put in this book. I have scars. I don't talk about them, but they're there. Permanently. Have you noticed them? Can you read between the lines that are there? Are you focusing? And what does life mean to you? Am I worth more than a few weeks of grieving? Will you forget about the sound of my voice soon? Will my words evaporate only to be seen again when it rains from them being your eyes? What will you choose to wipe them away with? A shirt, a tissue, a handkerchief, your memories of me. What will you remember me as? Can I be more than a gravestone in a plot or in a land plot of people whose legacies we don't know? Where will mine stand amongst theirs? Will I be happily remembered? Or will my funeral be bare like embalmed bodies? Are my kids to even have me buried? Or will I go down in flames, placed into an interior design accessory? Maybe my ashes will be in the ocean, consumed by fish who mistake them as flakes. Am I destined to correctly right my mistakes? Or teeter between right and wrong to determine my fate? Pendulums swing in my mind, consumed in the times where I had your skin magnified just under your eyes with droplets. If I'm praying, will it stop me from being preyed upon? Will I know my enemies or will I befriend them? Will I be the one to give them the tools to deceive me and stop me from breathing? Can I change their minds and alter my own final destination? And if I die before I wake, what will be the lessons they can only learn after I meet my fate? And if you got a book, you got a bookmark, and those last two lines are on the back of the bookmark from that poem. If you didn't catch on to it. Huh?
So perfect. Can you let everybody know how to get your book if they're not already well versed?
So I have a website. It is Deep Thought the Lyricist with an S at the end.com. You go there and it's pretty self-explanatory from there. Or you can go to my Instagram. On Instagram, in my bio, I have a link tree. You click on the link tree. The Deep Thought the Lyricist.com should be the first link on there. You can click on that and go to the book. If you're local, you can hit me up because I can just swing it to you. Town's not that big. But otherwise, you got to order it. And I am very much so caught up on orders. So as soon as I get them, I try to send them out a day or two after. It just kind of depends on what my life's looking like in those stages. But yeah.
Okay. So I just would like to let you know that after the show is posted, it gets posted very quickly. Jump back in the comments and put in your handle, put in whatever information you'd like to put in, because sometimes when people are watching replay, it could be 24, 72 hours, might even be farther out. So might as well let them know right away where to find your book. All right. So before we proceed to the next part of the show, is there anything that you would like to add?
Buy my book.
Good. Clearly, I think he shouldn't be laughing. He should be clapping. But anyways, that's not my fault. So we're gonna move on to play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Yeah. Oh god.
I don't think that's gonna be up. There we go. Do you like mimes?
I do. I think mimes are very poetic if they're not angry.
Okay. So there we go. So just out of curiosity, before we get that far, I just want to make sure, are you running 2 devices? So if I was to send you something, you could read it?
Yes, I could.
Okay, good. Okay, we're not there yet though. So let me know what you think the worst selfie picture idea for Tinder would be.
Okay. Oh, just I gotta name some? I thought you were gonna give me choices.
No.
Um,
No. It's all on you.
I think the ones where you take a picture in the mirror and it's either really messy in your background or the mirror is dirty. Like those are the worst.
Agreed. Agreed. But on the flip side, they're telling us a lot.
They might be. That might be. That
They
is
might be.
entirely possible.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Okay. Arsenio, if you were a mosquito, who would you bite first? It's a mosquito, not crickets.
Who would I bite? Those are crickets. um, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. That's I don't know. I've never thought about that.
Okay.
Who would I bite first? I want to say a celebrity. Like I want to bite somebody in the face so they smack themselves. Like that's
When they're like on an award show or something, right?
yeah, like something
Very
crazy.
important
Just
time.
just keep
Right.
buzzing around on their face. So they just keep slapping themselves up. You know.
I remember watching this comedian years and years ago, and he was like talking about a bee at the worst times in life, right? Like,
Mhm.
407 years of bee. Anyways, that's not what we're here for. Have you ever wished you could go to work on your birthday and receive birthday bumps from your boss?
Birthday bumps. Like some noogie woogie cookie.
Just a question.
um,
That face of birthday bumps.
no, not my current boss at least. I mean, she's a nice person though, or whatever.
Okay. Duly noted. Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
I'm like, am I interpreting this the right way? Because
yeah,
my
pretty much
mind,
you are. Pretty much you are. If I was a mosquito, I'd bite you first. There you go. You got it.
weird start to an erotic poem. That's a very weird start to an erotic poem.
Okay. It was. Just curious, do you need an appointment to see a psychiatrist? Or will they be expecting you?
I need an appointment because they don't know when to expect me. Sometimes I show up, sometimes I don't.
Okay. This has been bothering me all day, so I hope you can clarify for me. If hotcakes are on sale, are they selling faster than usual?
Hopefully. I would say yes. I would say yes. They're selling faster than usual because you don't get no like faster than hotcakes. So the only way you can go faster is double the hotcake express, and that's what's happening.
All right, that was a good answer. Would you please imitate the sound of a flute if one was to sneeze into it? I'm dead. First prize coming out. First prize coming out. In my hand prize. Like, this is for real, for real. Okay? People think this is bullshit, but I'm telling you, this is for real. You have won a box of packing peanuts.
Can I eat the peanuts?
If you want, you can do whatever you want with them. You want shipping not included.
I gotta come get it.
That's how you want to deal with it. That's fine, but okay, I have to get those because they're earmarked for you now. Okay.
So those are my peanuts. Get your hands off my peanuts.
I have a question about nuts later. Can you estimate? This is a math question. Are you good with math?
Sure.
Okay.
We'll see.
Can you estimate within, like, we should decide how much leeway you get. Like, should the number be 100 or 1,000? Like,
wait, say that again.
So you're estimating, right? So there's some leeway with the number. Should you be like within 100 or 1,000 of the number that you come up with because you're estimating? What kind of leeway would you like?
100.
Okay. Within 100, could you estimate how much deeper the ocean would be if sea sponges didn't live in it?
But do sea sponges actually absorb water, or are they just called sea sponges because of the way they look?
That wasn't part of the question. The question is not to be questioned. Not philosophy class, it's math class.
It would be somewhere around like 300. We'll say that.
Okay. All right. I like it. So you are a vegetarian?
Pescatarian.
Okay, pescatarian.
Actually had some shrimp tonight.
Coconut milk, almond milk, right?
Almond or oat?
Almond, okay. So have you ever referred to almond milk as nut juice?
No. God, no. Not nut juice.
I have. Apparently, it's a no-no. This is a good question, actually. I'm very proud to say I pretty much thought of it all on my own today. Can atheists get insurance coverage that covers acts of God?
Hell no. Ah, see what I did there? Hell no.
You did so well with that answer. I'm gonna offer you a bottle of beer, very special beer, and you can refer to the Let's Talk shop. So bottle and contents are sold separately.
Bottle and contents, like separately from each other. How separate are we talking here?
Go to the Let's Talk store. It should be a self-explanatory. Could you please calculate for us another math question? Okay, ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Could you please calculate for us how many times you have sneezed in your lifetime?
Man, I sneezed like 8 times yesterday because I was
Yesterday was 8. This could be a long math question if you're gonna go.
I sneeze so much more as an adult. I feel like I've already out-sneezed my adolescent self by far as an adult because I sneeze from like any seasoning that has pepper in it. And so, and dust. Dust kills me at this point. And
Right.
just being alive is I'm allergic. And
Right.
let's say like a good like 500 times.
Okay.
I feel like that's
I think
still
that might be a little low.
yeah,
I
but
feel like if yesterday was just 8, you're a
that was
little bit.
rare. That's
It's rare. Okay.
yeah. Like usually
Alright.
I get everything else except sneezes. I get
Okay.
sneezy, I get
All right. All right. That's a good one. If nothing, and I mean nothing, ever sticks to Teflon, how do we then make Teflon stick to a pan? We're looking to you.
maybe it's not stuck to the pan. Maybe it is just resting. This is not going well. Resting.
Weird. Resting. What are you sitting here there?
It's not sticking. It just doesn't feel like getting up because it's
Leaving.
comfortable. It's a comfortable spot.
It chose to be there. Okay.
Mhm.
We have our answer. See, that's why we have you as a guest. So I'm going to go back a little bit because this was a burning question in my mind earlier, and I wanted to make you feel comfortable. But then I noticed that one of our guests in the room had made a comment about it, and you did bring up Winnie the Pooh, and then she was saying you are wearing a red shirt like Winnie the Pooh. So I was just curious, and so was she, just so that it doesn't look like it's just me. Are you wearing pants today?
Yes, I'm wearing pants.
I'm very happy that you dressed up for the show.
I have on jeans.
You know,
What's
I would like to
it's
say thank
funny?
you for dressing up for the show tonight.
In all transparency, I've definitely been on some lives and shit pantsless. Like, there's no way. Like, I'm like halfway ready to go to bed sometimes. So like I'm literally halfway getting ready. Like you're not gonna see anything down there. So like
May I just say that you have never told me that before, but I actually knew it.
And we give it back to you, the people.
The people know.
how would you don't know. You don't
You have a mustache.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever referred to it as a mouth brow?
Not yet. Not
Will
yet.
you now? Will you now?
It's a pretty distinguished
Like
mouth
eyebrow, mouth brow.
Yeah, mouth brow.
Will you now?
I can do it. Or
Okay.
mouth lashes. I don't know. Whatever you're feeling.
Well, when mouth lash. Okay, you know what? You try it. See what works. If electricity comes from electrons, does morality come from morons?
Or Mormons.
There you go with that wordplay again.
That didn't answer the question at all.
It didn't, but because, I'm feeling so generous, we have reached real deep, and I'm so proud of this one. Let's Talk got a year subscription. Now, listen, originally they were only going to allow 3 months, but we're not canceled after. This is the 5th episode, so we got it up to a year subscription for you. So we have a year subscription for you to Facebook.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll yeah, yeah. I'm not sure what that means, but thank you.
You're more than welcome. So I've sent you something. It's time to use your meanest voice. You told me that you're an actor, so I'm expecting big things. This is my favorite part. Meanest voice. If you need to practice saying mean things, you can, but you can't practice this one. You can practice other mean things in your mean voice. Make the face. Ready and scene.
My Teddy and I like mini marshmallows in our hot chocolate before we tuck up for bed. Bitch.
Except for the bitch, I was more feeling the Teddy than the anger. Just to let you know. But it was wonderful. There's a good one coming. Okay. Directly. Sorry. Delivered directly to your inbox. Quentin, are you ready for this? Because we're gonna need the visuals. Thumbs up, Quentin. Okay. That's okay. Delivered directly to your inbox. More unrequested pictures of my furry friend. And just so that we are clear, we are speaking of my kitten poetry.
Hi, poetry.
This is a pretty good gift, right? All year long. As many as you want.
As many as you want.
It's a great gift.
I don't know what's more.
She's gonna attack the other cat. The other cat
I don't know what's more interesting, the offer or the fact that you can give me as many of these as I want.
Oh, I've got thousands. All right, thank you, Quentin. And Quentin got those because I sent them to his inbox directly as well. Let me see. I think I have. Okay. So we made it through that part. I do hope that you enjoyed that part of the show because I created the whole rest of the show just so I could play this game with people that I know.
And you ended it by sending your kitty to someone's inbox and then sharing it with everybody else.
I know.
My baby boss. He's lying. I'm the father of that baby boss. Boss. I'm that baby's daddy. Any fool can see that baby belongs to me. I want it different. That little rascal belonged to me.
So, you know, I would like to give you like 2 parting gifts because, you know, it's just been so much fun having you here. And you know, our friendship actually means quite a bit to me. Mm-hmm. So, I had to push for this one with Let's Talk, but they finally cleared it. So I would like to give you a renewed subscription to my friendship for another 3 months.
3 months. That yeah. I had to make sure to maximize that. That 3 months goes by quick. Or you know it, they're knocking on.
It's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. And you're just not guaranteed that subscription's going to be available anymore. Right.
Yeah, they change all the time. It becomes more expensive. All that good stuff.
Right. I'm glad you see it my way. So, and the last thing, and this is really from Quentin because he every once in a while likes to give a nudge. He really is pretty solid about not giving out certain things. Like I ask him about certain gifts, and he's like, no. And if I do get it, he's like, okay, we could do that, but they have to pay shipping. Or the Let's Talk store is pretty it's bare bones over there. So, but we were able to from Quentin. We have a refillable. That's the important part here. We have a refillable Amazon gift card for you. And the current balance is $0.
Thank you. Thank you.
You are welcome. And I do know it gets cold in Wisconsin, so you're free to take that out of your wallet and scratch your windows with it when it's pretty double gift there.
Yeah, I mean, make sure it's one of the tougher cards because some of them are a little flimsy. So I want to
Flimsy,
make
right?
sure to really get that ice off of there, you know.
Well, you know what? I'm just going to suggest like test the flimsiness when you're inside and it's warm first, and if it doesn't look good, then you don't want to wreck that refillable part of the card.
No, I can test it on
Good
like somebody's door or something, see if I can get in.
idea.
Yeah.
Maybe even just open the ice box and just scrape it and see what happens.
That works too. I don't have to break into anybody's house that way.
Yeah, those are good plans. See what happens when we discuss these things. It's all works
Yeah,
out.
when a plan comes together.
I know, right? That's why they say like it takes two.
Yeah.
So, and as we spoke about before, when I offered you that wonderful prompt, right? Like, I mean, it takes two. I'm reminded of the fact what you said earlier, like Jesus came back twice. So there we go. We're ending in twos. In all joking aside, I hope that you had a great time here tonight. I hope that you felt comfortable and that you really did have I'll say it again, a good time. I hope that you enjoyed the conversation. I hope that you got to have some fun. A little bit unique than probably any other talk show that you've been on, which was our goal.
Oh yeah.
We like to get to know people. We want to know the deep dive on the serious side, but the reality is that when you can see somebody's humor, you get to know a whole nother side of them. So for me, that's that. For me, that's that piece. I come from a family of jokesters, and until recently, I don't think anybody has seen my funny side. So, and maybe they don't think it's funny, and that's fine too. But we get good laughs over here on this side of in this house. We get a lot of laughs making all this stuff up. So.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I love that. And I, my house is the same. I'm a big jokester on and off the internet. So I love for people to laugh and smile and have fun. And if you guys want to, treat me that way too, I'll take it. I'll take all that treatment, whatever.
Yeah, well, it's all energy. It's all positive energy and love. So you should take it. It should be another gift. That's another gift that you got for no good reason.
I'm just being showered with gifts, and I don't think people understand how wonderful these gifts are. And if you don't, I will be happy to share them with you. If you guys need to use my gift card, I got you. The balance will always be the same, no matter who gets it.
There's lots of
You
packing.
need some peanuts. Protein is good for you, or maybe just fiber. Just don't suffocate.
Yeah, don't choke on the packing peanuts. That'd be hard to explain.
And
Why
keep
are you
them
in
away
emergency tonight?
Keep him away from dogs, because if you've seen the movie Bolt, it was his weakness was packing peanuts, and so it rendered him defenseless of his powers.
This is good news to know. I did not know. My cat personally will attack anything, so
You gotta watch Bolt. Show Bolt to your grandkids. It's a good movie. Bolt.
Okay. Well, they've probably seen it. It's me who's not always in the cartoon. When they're when they're settled and watching a show that keeps them occupied, I have other things to do.
It's about a little dog. It's like a puppy, and then there's this little kitten that's his friend, and then this hamster named Rhino that is a part of it. I think you'd love it. It's really goofy.
A hamster called Rhino. I already like it. I do. So we're going to leave the show with just a few things. One, just a quick reminder, you don't leave once the credits roll. Stick around. We won't keep you for long, just a few minutes. We need to get your address for the shipping, of course. But the other thing is we want to talk. So everyone, this is Arsenio, Deep Thought the Lyricist. You can find his website. You can find him on Instagram. You can find him a whole host of other places. So make sure that you do pick up his book. I can vouch for the fact that it really is a beautiful book. And if you not only get his book, but you check out his IG page, you will be able to hear the voice that goes along with these poems. And I, for one, am somebody who firmly believes that hearing the poetry from the writer, the poet, is the best way that you can enjoy poetry. So do make sure that you do that. Once again, absolutely love to thank you for your time. It was a joy spending it with you here. We're overjoyed that we have not been canceled at 5, so we're hoping for 6.
I think you got it. I think you got it.
You think so?
I think so.
It was said here first. So this is the Let's Talk Station. We are Serious Shenanigans. Do hope that you enjoyed our time together tonight. Hope that you learned a lot more about Arsenio, found out where to get his book from, and that you enjoyed having some fun towards the end here. So we will see you again next week, where my guests will be like probably just as good, probably better as Arsenio. We don't know. I might even be canceled. We just don't know. Could be. I don't know. We have to find out who it is first, right? So it might be worse. It may very well, but yeah, okay. I hope not. Anyways, thank you, and we will see you all again. Quentin, it's all on you, babe.